Hi friends, welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, my name is T.I. and I garden in New Jersey Zone 7B. And for today's video, we're going to go into these 5 plants that I oftentimes forget to start at the end of January. So this is a video that is hopefully a reminder for you, but it's definitely going to be a reminder for me to start them as well. These are plants that usually takes quite a long time to mature. So it's a good idea to get ahead and start them indoors so that when the time comes to harvest before the frost, you are harvesting a mature plant. So the first one that we are going to get into is strawberries. And I love growing strawberries. You guys saw I put a bunch at the front of my house, 2 different varieties also, and I also have some in my green stalk, and I'll be using more as ground cover this year. I planted some and they didn't survive, so I'll be restocking. My favorite way to grow strawberries is through bare roots, and I will say that the place that I get my bare root strawberry is through Stark Bros. They will have sales like later on, and you could get 25 bare roots for approximately like $8 or so. So I think that's a great deal. But if you guys are interested in starting them from seeds, this is the perfect time to do so. I will warn you guys that you won't get fruits this year. It'll most likely be next year. And then if you try to grow it from just your store-bought strawberries and harvesting the seeds from that, you can add another year until you're able to harvest. So even though the seed route is not my favorite way to go for growing strawberries, I am going to give you guys some tips so that you have the most success when you are going that route. So the first thing that I will say is make sure that you are purchasing your seeds from a seed manufacturer versus getting the seeds from the store, because like I say, that will add an additional year until you're able to harvest some strawberries. So you want to have your strawberry seeds cold stratified, so you could actually start them using the winter sowing method, or you could go ahead and stratify them by placing them in a Ziploc bag and having the seeds inside the fridge for approximately 30 days or so. Once you have them inside the fridge, you could then use some potting mix. You want to sprinkle those seeds on top of your potting mix in order for the seeds to still be able to get some light, because they do need light to germinate. So the method that I'm going to use is just the winter sowing method, and I'm going to get some potting mix, sprinkle my seeds on top, and then I'm going to place them outdoor for them to get that light and also that cold stratification. The next one that we're going to start right now is our ginger plant. And I like to just take my organic store-bought ginger from BJ's and I break off the tiny parts that are sprouting a bit, or I break off those pieces that just seem a little bit tedious to go ahead and clean. And those are what I use for my starts. So I will take potting mix just like I do with the strawberries, and I will lay those pieces down, put a light layer of potting mix on top, and have them on the grow mat. And I have them on the grow mat the entire time. I do not take them off because ginger likes to grow in a warm climate, and my basement is just not warm enough consistently in order to give them a good growing habitat. So I keep them on the grow mat, I keep them under lights, and once it becomes warm enough outside, I separate all the ginger and I go ahead and plant them outdoors. By the time it gets really cold, I have a nice big ginger to harvest. If I don't start them now and I wait until it is ideal to plant outside, what usually happens is it's not enough time to get a good sized ginger to harvest. So if you want to grow ginger and you're living in my zone or warmer, I would definitely give them a head start by starting them indoors. The next plant is sweet potatoes, and this is my favorite because they grow these nice nice slips. You could get these sweet potato slips by laying them again in potting mix and just have it about halfway the height of the sweet potatoes. Just make sure that the sweet potato is immersed in the dirt. You don't have to cover the top or anything like that. And then after some time, just make sure you're keeping the soil just moderately moist, and you'll start to see slips grow. Those are what we're going to plant once we are clear of frost. You can also do the method where you have them in the jar and you have water at the bottom, and slips can grow through that method as well. You keep them by the kitchen window. I have not personally tried that method, but I've seen people have great success using that as well. I do recommend that once your slips are getting pretty long, that you take them off and put them in a mason jar, and that's a good way to store them until you are ready to plant them outside. This way the sweet potatoes can continue to produce new slips. So the fourth plant that you want to start now is asparagus. So they're kind of similar to the strawberries, where you have the bare root option and you also have the seeds. Same thing when I was starting out. I purchased the asparagus seeds because I had no clue about buying bare roots, and when I discovered bare roots, I just put it to the side. I was like, I don't have time for this, but now I really want to give it a shot. So if you do have asparagus seeds and you want to start them by seed, this will be the perfect time. Same thing with the strawberries. The earlier you can start it, the better, because it's going to take quite a bit longer. You could add another year getting asparagus spares versus when you get it from bare root. So that's something to think about. Like I said, I'll be starting mine because I have the seeds already. So if you have the seeds and you're also curious and want to start them with me, this is the perfect time to do that. The fifth plant that I would recommend you start right now is artichoke. I grew this last season as well. I so enjoyed just seeing the flowers and the bees just having a glorious time in the flowers. And that's mainly why I grew it. I didn't have any intent on making anything with the artichoke, but my husband did mention that he enjoyed eating it when he was younger. So this year I'll be starting some in order to harvest it, because I do still want to keep some just to see those beautiful, beautiful flowers. So if you do have some artichoke seeds, I would recommend going ahead and starting that now. I have a bonus for this video, and the bonus plant is turmeric. It is so healthy for you guys. I do get turmeric powder and I buy it fresh from the Korean store, and that's what I'm going to be using to start the plants. So I know there's places that sell the plants, but it's super easy to get the plant. Same method as the ginger. You're going to have a layer of potting mix. You're going to put your turmeric on top of that potting mix, add some soil on top, keep it moist, keep the heat underneath, and soon enough you'll have some plants that you can take and plant outside once it gets warmer. Those are my 5 plants that I recommend starting now, plus my 1 bonus. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to another video. I will see you guys in the next one, but until then, Irie up yourself.